After seeing how long that 2026 PDGA rule proposal is, I now get the press junket. Northwest Disc Golf takes the stage in a world's preview and not too much more this week in disc golf. Welcome back, all you disc-generates. Swiss here with the Disc Golf World, that one disc golf YouTube channel you guys know already, the ones with the titles, who make short enough videos you don't ever need to adjust the playback speed in your settings. And you guys are watching This Week in Disc Golf, where despite not much going on, I cover all things disc golf from the past week. I still got to take the time to let you guys know there's openings for our first ever tournament in collaboration with Black Lung Brewery this June 21st. Make sure to enter the tournament with your best doubles partner for a chance at CTP prizes, ace races, and even more. And if you got buddies that are too soft to compete, still make sure to hit up the after party over at the Black Lung Brewery for our collab craft beer named First Available. So be on the lookout for that and possibly a different style video this weekend also. Now, if your barometer to gauge the latest PDGA rule proposals was just how loud Brodie's reaction was, you might assume this week was far more interesting than it actually was.
What do you want me to do, PJ? Do you really want me to pull my cell phone out every single time someone is going to throw and start looking at the clock? And then when someone says time extension, do I need to pull my phone out again and make sure they don't go over 45 seconds? This makes no sense. PDGA, do your job. You're getting paid. Do your job.
Sure, there was the community and Brodie's uproar about time extensions and pace of play. The podcast exclusives was an interesting twist in the minds of the PDGA, but the reality of including the same platforms you already use forced it to feel not at all that far different from years prior. And that's despite the YouTube headline titles, too many jokes about the difference between determining and addressing, the extreme and sensationalized overuse of the term pace of play, and the rest of the talk for the proposals that only affects the professional level. Lost in all that chatter are plenty of common sense submissions for the better that will actually affect most of you. And lucky enough, all available to read and comment on during the month grace period prior to being put to a vote this offseason. Sure, I have to warn you that you're gonna have to fight through the initial reaction of ain't nobody got time for that. And yes, it reads like the person writing it licks their finger before turning the page. But aren't most rules like that? Yet with positive proposal changes to league and flex tier events, often the introduction for new players to the competition in the sport went relatively unspoken. One of the proposed changes allows players to enter the event more than once, another permitting beer consumption as long as the TD and venue allows it, with even more than sensible clarification on moving obstacles, caddy age limits, provisionals, and the famous benefit to the player. However, the PDGA didn't stop there, as these new propositions went even further by empowering TDs even more, allowing deeper cut lines from the current pay lines at events, something the tour should take full advantage of if this passes, along with the expansion of disqualifying to enforce scorekeeping and ruling, all of which most in the community can get behind. And yet here we are, hung up on time extensions and what feels like giving even more benefit to those few abusing the rule currently. And that's despite the rule change proposals having the player committee's backing and them saying that they believe players are more likely to enforce and embrace calling violations or extensions with this change. So maybe we really need to turn down the volume and the aggression slightly, as we have to give the player council the benefit of the doubt here. However, the YouTubers and public's initial reaction is certainly justified also. And that's because PDGA is limiting or sharing these proposals prior to the official news bulletin drop. It allows far too much speculation and rumors to flow, especially when you don't share those changes with some of the most viewed platforms in the sport. Now, did the Pro Disc Golf Association get more eyes on the proposal? Maybe. Will it result in more comments? Probably not, but still the right step in the right direction with some new proposals that most people can get behind. This week also saw the unification of two iconic Portland area courses with a new Elite Plus event, the Northwestern Disc Golf Championship, as the scenic Milo and stunning Glendoveer courses will be featured in the same tournament over the 4-day event, in what is a warm-up prior to the 2026 2027 Future World Championship. The PDGA and the DGPT allowing for the development of these locales with a couple of years of trial and error in its lead up to the prestigious showcase is a wise move. Allows these stops to work out the kinks, presentation, and possible needed course changes in the prior years to the world's lead up. Worked great already for the first major of this year and most certainly will assist in the future world stop also, even if those baskets can't catch a damn thing. But after a day one of action along with a week full of events, the decision of this future world location not only seems justified, but further established the West Coast swing as some of the better stops on tour, along with this location being one of the premier stops all year. And that's even with the continued split player pools, as these stops are greatly impacted with the schedule of the European swing. And despite missing names like Lott, Antala, and now Villman, still impressed after day one. FPO has an all-discraft lead card heading into day 2. Currently, both Missy Gannon and Holland Hanley sit atop the rest after both scored 8 under rounds at Milo. The definite favorites heading in continue to establish themselves in the absence of Lott, needed in their Player of the Year race and status in the game. Holland scoring more birdies while Gannon had a clean day 1 round. Paige Pierce continues her solid West Coast run, followed closely behind with 5 under day. And that was despite a number of early releases on the round. While Valerie Mandujano, a former winner here, scored a 5 under herself. Kat Mertsch may not be on lead card, but is still right there alongside them in scoring, however, despite the backwards cap having her look like Argyle from Stranger Things. The MPO has Paul Ulibarri, the touring side of the Tour Life podcast, solo sitting atop the leaderboard after an impressive, unofficial 1079 rated 11 under day 1. 2 full strokes ahead of Bradley Williams and a bunched pack at 8 and 7 under. Sadly enough, Yuli's round saw little to no coverage on the live broadcast, despite there being 2 of them. But hey, I guess a handful of shots is better than none at all. Yuli utilized his putter for much of the scoring, notching 4 birdies from C2, but will need as big of a day 2 at Milo prior to getting to Glendoveer, where some of the power arms behind him might be able to close the gap. No, I'm not really talking about Williams, even with his baby destroyers, but Eagle McMahon, Ricky Wysocki, Calvin Heimberg, Kyle Klein, and last year's winner at both of these stops, Gannon Buhr. With even more names and 3 more days to make up the gap, still has others not that far behind him, Paul McBeth, the Robinson brothers, and AB still in the picture at 6 under, providing enough excitement for the many expected in attendance and those watching from home. Let's get to a few quick hitters on and off the course and get you out of here. Scott Stokely randomly gifts a signed Ren in someone's backyard. Still one of the best individuals in the sport. Brodie's takes didn't stop with his YouTube rant as he dives into the greens surrounding the basket also. Despite being busy with cruises, the channel's expansion into golf and trick shots still has the time to yell into the void about the game. And I kinda see his point here, but aren't we also trying to make the putting green more difficult at the same time? How does clearing the backstops around baskets help make putting more difficult? Players took the time for tubing, kayaking, big breakfasts, riding, and views of bald eagles. Well, Vino made a new friend in Europe. Funny enough, Parker Welk found a new use for an AB trophy. Tristan Tanner takes a big leap along with Henna Blomroos, as that was the reason behind her and Evelina missing Kona Peach Day. And Joel Freeman shot an impressive 18 under at the Spring Fling event. And guys, that wraps up this week in disc golf. Shout out to those on the Patreon and all of you who have stayed this long for me to thank. And like always, if you've enjoyed and not subscribed, make sure to do so. And if you haven't already, hit that like button, comment, and share.